a grandmother is being forced to spend 6 years in a foreign prison because of a long-running international scam. Is she the scammer? No, she's the victim. And what's worse, the police aren't even looking for the real criminal. This is the podcast that keeps you safe from scams, hacks, and frauds. Donna Nelson is not someone who you might expect to fall for a scam like this. She did many of the right things to avoid being scammed, but she made one critical mistake. Donna is from the Nyaki Nyaki people, an Indigenous group in Western Australia. In a long career, she chaired a First Nations health service, ran a charity for disadvantaged youth, and was all too familiar with how drugs and crime can destroy lives. She was known for being generous, outgoing, and very involved in the lives of her 5 daughters and her grandchildren. She had her youngest child at 15, and after 20 years of marriage, and while pregnant with her 5th child, saw her relationship with her then-husband end. Her daughters say that this experience seemed to scar her, and it would be a very long time before she'd try again to find romance. But as she approached 60, with all of her children well and truly grown up, Donna began to find some time for herself, and that included visiting a dating website called Afro Introductions in 2020, where she met Kelly. Kelly said he was originally from Nigeria, but he lived in Japan. He told her he was a fashion designer with a store selling couture items. Over 2 years, they developed what seemed to be a legitimate romance. She revealed this to her family in 2022, and although cautious, the relationship seemed genuine to them as well. They would talk every day, including via video calls, and even had a good night ritual. Despite the distance between Western Australia and Japan, there is only a 1-hour time difference, allowing them to have the resemblance of a typical relationship, even if it was online. There was talk of Kelly opening a store in Australia and taking care of Donna, just as her daughters felt she deserved after a lifetime of working in public service. Now, around this time, in what may appear to be an odd tangent, Kelly started talking about an extension to his business. He wanted to branch out into suitcases. But not just any suitcases. They had to be of a particular size and style. Donna was excited to be part of this, providing suggestions to Kelly, but none of them were quite right. For the new year in 2023, it was decided that the pair would meet, and Donna's daughters insisted that she snap a picture of Kelly when they video chatted, and had him supply her with a copy of his ID, which, after comparing it to other Japanese residence permits online, seemed to be legitimate. They also advised her not to send him any money or to share too many personal details. Although Donna did as they asked, she was also dismissive of her daughter's concerns and was full of excitement to meet the man she was sure was going to be her next husband. One of Donna's daughters even spoke with Kelly and left feeling that he was a nice person. To manage the costs, Kelly said he would arrange a flight itinerary that would take Donna first through the South Asian country of Laos. There, she would spend a few days in a luxury hotel before connecting to Tokyo in Japan. Now, if you're familiar with romance scams, you're thinking this flight is never going to happen. Kelly will call off after being sent some money by Donna. But this isn't your typical romance scam. Kelly had asked for no money. The flight was actually booked by Kelly. And Donna really did take a flight to Laos. It was only when she arrived in Laos that things started getting weird. Donna arrived at the hotel with no reservation in her name. Being a first-time international traveller, Donna was stressed and confused and threatened to go home. Typical holiday or vacation from hell problems, but Donna's stress and anxiety got to the point where her daughters were trying to book her an immediate flight home. You might be expecting that Kelly had disappeared, but no. Once he found out about the hotel problem, he arranged for an associate to bring her the money to pay for the hotel, and Donna tried to relax in the hotel until her flight to Tokyo. It had seemed like everything had settled down and the plan was back on. 15 minutes before leaving the hotel to catch that flight, she received a call from Kelly. An associate would bring her a suitcase, a sample for the business, which made sense given that tangent from before. Donna received the suitcase, and, curious, she opened it to find that clothes were already inside. She asked Kelly why there were clothes inside, and he explained that these two were samples for his store. Satisfied with the response, and finding nothing else unusual, she headed to the airport. Donna arrived at Tokyo Narita at 6 in the morning, messaged her family to advise them it was very cold, and then went dark. Kelly, whoever he was never heard of again. Donna's family didn't discover her fate until several days later. They had a tracking system to keep an eye on Donna's location and became increasingly concerned when her location didn't change from Narita Airport. After a couple of sleepless nights, during which they were too anxious to eat or go about their daily lives, they accessed Donna's email, printed off everything they could find about her flights and Kelly, and took this to the police. Later that day, they received a call from the Australian Consular Emergency Centre, who broke the news that Donna had been arrested for drug trafficking. In that suitcase, hidden behind a false panel, was 2 kilograms of methamphetamine, a value of about $400,000. Although Japan is Western aligned in many respects, its criminal justice system is well known for its significant differences from typical Western systems. Japan's prisons are known for being extremely strict environments, even by prison standards. Donna was being kept in solitary confinement, even though she had yet to be convicted of anything, and was kept in a cell 23 hours a day. She was prohibited from talking to other prisoners, couldn't sing, and began to feel suicidal. She would later say the experience would make her almost forget how to speak. She would be kept in these conditions for over a year before her trial began. Japan's courts are also known for convicting the accused in over 99% of cases. But Donna's family and a Japanese lawyer held out hope that she would be released. Even the prosecution's witnesses admitted that unless one was trained to find the false backing, it would be next to impossible to spot. How can you be convicted of a crime you didn't even know you were committing? I wish I could tell you there was a happy ending to this story, but there isn't. Donna was convicted, and although the court accepted she was the victim of a scam, they also stated that she should have known there was something unusual about the suitcase and was responsible for its contents. The court wasn't entirely unsympathetic. Although the prosecution had asked for a sentence of 10 years, the judge cited her victimhood as a reason for reducing it to 6 years. She's appealed the conviction, but her appeal was rejected. Donna's sole contact with her family is a single letter she is allowed to write each week, and her only hope to see her family anytime soon is a prisoner transfer between Japan and Australia. However, these typically take years to arrange, if they're accepted at all. Both Japanese and Australian police have confirmed there is no ongoing investigation into trying to find Kelly or this drug ring. Justice, it seems, is taking a holiday. If you've ever travelled internationally, you've been asked by someone, and probably multiple times, if you've packed your bag and if anyone has asked you to put anything in it. This is why they asked that question. Donna had probably, without thinking it was important, ticked the box that stated she had packed the bag on a Japanese customs form. However, this case makes it clear you should never take a bag from someone else or allow another person to put anything in your bag. If you think Donna was naive for falling for a romance scam, remember that this scam had been running for 3 years before the trap was sprung. It appeared to be a genuine long-distance relationship. Donna was actually talking to this Kelly, they were having video calls, and she had what appeared to be his valid ID. If you're in an online relationship, these are the things you should be doing to prove that it was real. But as this case shows, it's not enough. I'm not going to tell you that all online relationships are fake. Mine started online, but be very careful in how you manage that first meeting. If possible, meet in a neutral city and make your own arrangements so you're not reliant on each other, and have a safe place to retreat to if things don't go well. Remember, she was almost stranded in Laos, trusting this Kelly. If he didn't make contact again for some reason, she would have been in a different type of trouble. Making her own arrangements, perhaps with the help of a travel agent, would have prevented a lot of stress. We hope to provide an update to this story, and we'll bring it to you if one becomes available. But we're not hopeful. For now, please like, subscribe, and review. I've been C, and this is the podcast that keeps you safe from scams, hacks, and frauds. This podcast is available to reuse for free under the Creative Commons with Attribution Share Alike license. The music is not included in this license. For more information on the Creative Commons license, please visit creativecommons.org.